it's not morning, is it? Good evening. I always say good morning, and then that's totally thrown me. Good evening. And welcome to our next webinar. And our next webinar is all about making the most of your Twinkl subscription. Oh man, the tech's going wrong today. There we are, that's the one I want. So welcome. Lots of you joined me on Monday where we talked about kind of starting out with home ed. And today we're going to be thinking about making the most of your Twinkl subscription, because we know that it can be really, really overwhelming sometimes when you get a new subscription to something, particularly Twinkl. You go on the website and there are lots and lots and lots and lots of things, and you haven't got a clue where to start. And that's what we're going to be looking at today. So we're going to be thinking about all the different ways that you can start out using Twinkl. So do give me a hello in the chat if you're watching live, and welcome if you're watching on catch up. I know lots of you tonight were going to try and make it on catch up as well. We have Sam in the chat, so she's hopefully going to be my able assistant and send through any important links, and also I'm just wondering, am I actually live on Facebook as well? Sam, interestingly, that's only coming up as commenting on YouTube, which might be a problem, but hopefully Sam will be putting some really interesting links in the chat as we go. And as I said, ask lots and lots and lots of questions because these webinars are for you. So I want them to be as useful as possible. So I thought we'd just start with the journey so far. So Twinkl has been growing for 14 years, and it began as a teaching resource site, and now it's a global digital educational publisher. And as I was saying on Monday, there are segment-specific teams to better serve customer needs. So we're now far greater than just a primary teaching resource. We have childminder segments, and we have parents, and we obviously have home educators. Now, when you go and look how many resources are on site, you get lots and lots of different answers. But the last check was around about 900,000 plus resources. And that can be anything from PowerPoints to videos to apps to games to all sorts. We're definitely not just about worksheets. And that's hopefully what I'm going to get across to you today. Because sometimes people think, oh, Twinkl, that's just a part of worksheets, isn't it? And we know that that doesn't work for all learners, certainly doesn't work for one of my learners here at home, and we're definitely not just worksheets. And if you weren't here on Monday, but you're here today, and you've never met me before, then I'm Chrissy. I am part of the video content creator team on Team Home Ed, and we are, as I said, a segment-specific team. So we have our own writers and editors, our own designers and illustrators, and lots of you, I'm sure, have met Lizzie, who is in charge of everything social media. And we have the awesome Sam, who is our segment manager. So we are here as a team to make and design lots and lots of things for the home ed community. The first thing to say is some of those things I'm going to go through today have been made specifically by us. A lot of us in the team home educate ourselves, so we know what it's like. And some of the things I'm going to talk to you about today are things that have been designed by other segments, but are also really, really useful for home editors. So hopefully it will be really, really useful. And I thought I would just start by thinking about, right, if you were just starting out and you have taken a subscription out or a free trial out to Twinkl, what could you do just to start out? Because if you go into Twinkl and you type in something like, I don't know, the Tudors, you're probably going to get thousands of resources. Or if your young person says, oh, I'm really, really into spiders, and you go in and you type in spiders or autumn or Halloween or whatever you're going to type in, you will get thousands and thousands of resources. And that often is where the overwhelm starts. So what I'm going to go through with you is lots of different things that you could do in order to make Twinkl a bit less overwhelming. And the first thing to say is to check out our curriculum maps. Now, these are really, really useful if you are just starting out and you're looking for something that's a bit more structured. So hopefully Sam is going to share links to these curriculum maps. We have them for Key Stage 1 and 2, and also for secondary as well, and Key Stage 3. We don't go further than that because obviously by that point young people will be potentially opting for their GCSEs. And you can download the curriculum maps, and this has hyperlinks to all of the different topics that you might want to do. Now, you might want a completely off the peg curriculum, and so you might have a learner who is in year 4, and you're going to look at year 4, term 1, for example, and it would tell you everything you need to do for every different subject. And you can click on, they're all hyperlinks, so you can click on the curriculum maps, and it will take you straight over to all of the resources that you would need to teach that. So if it was on the transport revolution, for example, or it was a particular area of grammar in the English curriculum, or it was fractions in maths, you just click on it and it would take you over to that section. And the great thing about curriculum maps is they are there to completely hold your hand. You could use them just for English and maths, or you might be quite feel quite happy with English and maths. You might maybe have some alternative that you're doing, or some maybe some classes or something like that. And it might just be that you think, oh, my weakness is geography. I'm really no good at geography. What can we do? So you can use it for all subjects or just some subjects, or you could use it for some ideas just to see what's out there. So you don't even have to do it in the order that we say. It might be you just use them to see what sort of topics are there and what sort of topics help your young person might be interested in. So you might read Crime and Punishment as a history topic and think, oh, actually, we quite like the sound of that. We'll do that. And I'm very much also a believer of kind of age, not stage. So if your learner particularly like something that's maybe for some of the older years, then that doesn't mean you can't use it. Or again, for some of the younger years, again, it doesn't mean that it's that it's out of the question. You can't use it. So I think that curriculum maps are a really good place to start. So here is an example of a curriculum map for year 7. So as I said, if you were looking at English writing, you have a topic for every single term. If you were going to look for arts, again, you have something for every single term. And the terms are based loosely on 6-week terms because that's what we tend to use in schools. But again, you can take them at your own pace. Maybe some of the lessons aren't particularly relevant. Maybe you might have done that before, or maybe you want to take more time on something. But they're very, very much there. And as I said, it's completely off the peg and it's there for you to use. So that's the first place I would suggest you started if you wanted to try and use Twinkl effectively and not get overwhelmed. So, for example, if I was on my year 7 scheme of work and I was thinking, right, well, to me, English is where I'm at my weakest. I'm trying to get my young person to do reading is a big thing for me, for example. I might think, right, well, it's autumn 1 and this is pre-20th century fiction on Moonfleet. And then I click that, and then everything you need will be there. So there is the whole unit of work. You have lesson 1, 2, 3, all the way up to the end of the session. And there's bits of the text there, and you've got the entire unit pack which you can download. And so this is a really easy way of getting started with Twinkl. Everything that you need is there. A lot of these things are based on Planit, and that's the next part of the Twinkl website that I'm going to go through. So Planit is for primary learners, and it is again a complete off the peg curriculum for you to use. And a lot of our curriculum map is mapped to Planit. Now, the reason I'm going to go specifically through Planit itself is because some people say, well, it looks so like it's based for classrooms. I really don't know how I can use it. And so that's what I'm going to go through now. So another option is that you don't follow a particular curriculum map. Your young person maybe is interested in the Tudors or something like that, or they're interested in map skills or mountains, and you go onto Planit and you think, right, I'm going to find something in Planit to start off a project. Now, the easiest way to navigate to Planit is literally just to type Planit into the top of the search box, and it will take you straight through to the Planit page. What you then find is on that home page for Planit, you then find all of the different particular curriculum schemes. So if it's something you're looking for music or design and technology, or geography or science, you can just click on that subject, and then it takes you through to that section of the Planit website. So I always tend to pick on history because that's my subject. So if I clicked on history, it would then have the history section. It would hyperlink you through to the history section, and then it says Planit History, get started. And so then from there you can look at all of the different years. So with history, it's linked to either Key Stage 1, Lower Key Stage 2, and Upper Key Stage 2. But again, doesn't mean that you have to stick to those key stages. And then it's linked to topics. So you can have a little look through, a bit like, you're shopping and think, right, what do we fancy? And then if it's, I don't know, something like the gunpowder plot, which is what I picked because I thought, yeah, that sounds quite cool. That's a Key Stage 1 unit pack. I would click on that link, and then it would take you through to every single lesson that they have about the gunpowder plot. But I would always say look for the unit pack. So if you look on the left-hand side of my slides, you can see the unit pack. So when you click and decide, I'm going to do plants, or I'm going to do tone and shade with art, or I am going to do the gunpowder plot with history, and you click through, I would always then look for the unit pack, and the unit pack is what I would download. And that's because, and then I just ignore everything else. So if you look at it all and you think, wow, there's like 25 things in this pack, 25 things on this page, just look for the unit pack and then download the unit pack. And so as this one says, history, gunpowder plot, unit pack, you download it. And then when you open the unit pack, that will contain everything that you need. Now, the first thing I would say is just ignore the assessments. Then you have the home learning tasks, which are quite nice sort of little bits that you could do to supplement your work. And then you see all of the lessons, so lesson 1 to 6 in their own folders. And then right at the bottom, you see planning overview. So once you've downloaded the unit pack of whatever it is you fancy doing with your young person, I would then look at the planning overview. And the planning overview looks something like this sheet here. It basically has every single lesson and what that lesson is about. It's a bit like a shopping list. And from that, you can then think, is that what I'm looking for? Is this the sort of thing that we kind of want to do? Is it maybe that we only want to do a couple of these lessons? So if you're looking at plants, and maybe your young person is particularly interested in the features of a plant, but maybe not that interested in some of the other bits. If you're looking at the planning overview, it means that you can then pick the specific things that you want to do with your children at home. Now, it might be you want to do all the lessons, or it might be that you just want to pick a couple of them. but definitely look for that planning overview. And then if you've decided that you're going to start at lesson 1 or you're going to start at lesson 3 or whatever it might be, I would then open that lesson folder, and my advice to you is to go straight for the PowerPoints. Now, other people might do this a bit differently, but when I use Planit, I then head straight to the PowerPoint. So if I was going to do lesson 1 of the gunpowder plot, it was who was Guy Fawkes, and then I open the PowerPoint and I look through the PowerPoint. I look at the aims, so that tells you kind of what's the point, what are you actually supposed to be learning about in this session. And then I look through the PowerPoint, and that gives me the overall gist of where the lesson is going, where the resources fit in, what the kind of aims, what the young person's going to be doing, you know, what you're going to be learning, what skills you might be covering. And I would always say that you feel less swamped as a home educating carer or parent if you start by looking at the PowerPoint. So that's what I always do. And then when I've kind of got an idea of where it's going, I then look at the lesson plan, and then I look at the resources that come with that lesson. And I might not actually follow the lesson plan, to be honest, because obviously this is very much for young people if they're in a classroom. But lots of the resources are really, really useful. They're often differentiated. So if you see something with 3 stars, it means it's sort of for quite able young people. If you see something with 2 stars, and then if you see something 1 star, it's obviously a bit simpler. And so when I was saying to you that maybe you might want to choose something in some of the different year groups, having differentiated resources definitely helps with that. And so I've looked at the PowerPoint, I've worked out roughly where we're going with it. I'd probably use a lot of the resources. I might supplement the lesson with some books that I might have got from the library or some websites I might have found. The lesson plan, as I said, I tend to just have a little skim through. But a little bit of advice would be always look at the bottom bit. It often has kind of some sort of drawer or some sort of activity. And I actually find that this little box at the bottom often fits in a lot more with home ed. So for example, in this particular lesson plan, which was completely picked at random, one of the activities is to recreate the portrait of Guy Fawkes that you see in paintings, which I really quite like as an activity. Another one says find out about Jacobean clothing and draw a typical Jacobean man and woman and maybe design their own clothing for them. And so those sorts of things, I often find that little box at the lesson plan. So although I might have just skimmed the lesson plan, that little box at the bottom often has some real good nuggets of activities that you can do with your young person at home. So that's Planit. So that's another option. But you might be like, well, my young person doesn't even know what they want to do. I ask them what they're interested in and I just kind of get a bit of a grunt and they have no idea. Or they might just be really little and they just, everything's amazing. So the other thing that if you're just starting out, if you think, right, well, that's not for me, the Planit isn't for me, that's a little bit too structured. Another thing you could look for is our home learning hub. So our home learning hub, you can find it on the website along the top bar where you've got all the different areas of the website. You can find along there, it says home learning hub. And every single day it provides you with activities and various things that you can do for ages 3 to 5, 5 to 7, 7 to 9 and 9 to 11. So if you see that it has a drop-down menu, so the drop-down menu says activities for today, so it will show you up to 2 weeks of activities. So it says activities for today, and then, as I said, you pick your child's age. It's for primary learners, although again, age not stage. So if they're particularly, you can chop and change, and then it has various things on it to kind of hold your hand and work through. It always has links to the live lessons, which we'll talk about a little bit later. It always has, usually has some sort of fact of the day, which is always very interesting and enables you to kind of delve into something that maybe you might not be expecting. It's all usually themed on various topics. So the week commencing the 9th of September, everything on the Home Learning Hub will be linked to the Virtual Wonders of the World adventure. And then on the 16th of September, Robots and Hedgehogs. On the 23rd of September, Autumn. And on the 30th of September that week, it's going to be on vegetarian food and poetry. And so it really is, as it says, planning made easy every week. As I said, you can drop down that particular day. Or it might be that you just wake up and you're tired, or you wake up and you're not feeling great, or you just want something to do because your kids are climbing the walls and it's raining and they don't really know what they want to do. I would definitely say check out the Home Learning Hub. Click on the age group, really just hold your hands and helps you. The other thing that the Home Learning Hub comes with is it comes with various clubs. So there's particular activities. So on Monday, there's always an activity linked to nature. On Tuesday, art. On Wednesday, craft. On Thursday, there's a block adventure club, which you can do creating something on your computer if you like block adventuring. And on Friday, there's something linked to writing. And there's always a sharing post for each of these on our Twinkl Home Ed Facebook group. So you can share if you've made a really lovely craft linked to the topic for that week on a Wednesday, then you can share it with other people. And it's a really nice way of creating community. You can share your things, other people share theirs. And it's just a really, really lovely way of kind of grounding your week with something that is easily accessible and fun. So that's the Home Learning Hub. Now, you might then think, well, do you know what? I think that's really great, but I do want the opportunity to just have a cup of tea and secretly eat a bar of chocolate without children nagging me for various things. Well, the other thing that we have, if you're just starting out, is our live lessons. Now, these happen every single day of the week at 11 o'clock, and they are completely free. It's something that I'm incredibly proud of. I started running live lessons probably about 3 years ago now, and I did it because I knew how exhausting home ed can be and how present you often have to be. And I was home educating with no family around me, and if my friends were off doing something or whatever and I was at home, sometimes I just wanted a bit of peace. And even in my family, you can go to the toilet and that still doesn't mean you're going to get peace, because I still have an audience when I go for a wee. And so for me, I just wanted to start something for home educators that they could just sit down with a cup of tea, either join in, or they could just sit down with a cup of tea and look at a magazine while their young person had something to do. And as I said, they are all free. So on Mondays at 11, we have Pathfinders with Kirsty. On Tuesday, we have Time Explorers, which is kind of like a history-based session. On Wednesday, we have World Learners, which is kind of a geography, sciencey based lesson. On Thursday, we have Imagination Station, which is a drama-based session. And on Friday, we have Book Club. And so they're every day at 11. They're completely free. And they last anything from kind of 30 minutes to 50 minutes, depends on the session. And they're really interactive. There's often lots of games and opportunities for children to get involved. And as I said, Kirsty and I have both got very different styles, which I kind of like. It's what works for your young person. And I think, as I said, I am proud of the fact that we offer those for free. That said, you can create entire topics around those live lessons. So each live lesson comes with a planning pack, and those planning packs enable you to use those live lessons to springboard off into doing activities. So for example, with Pathfinders, There might be activities that you can do that are linked to the craft that Kirsty showed, or there might be some scrapbooking opportunities. Or this one says about, because it's to do with autumn, it's to do with making a fruit crumble. So there's lots and lots of different activities. And as I said, these are for all of our live lessons. So with book club, there's again some extended writing activities, some vocabulary activities, some creative activities. So if you have, I don't know, children that are very reluctant to write, but you want to develop their vocabulary, you can just stick to some activities that are to do with the vocabulary. If your young person likes creative things and so on. And it's the same with world learners and time explorers. There is different set of things to do to build on the session, all the way up to secondary learners for those two as well. And again, something that's crafty and practical. So you can kind of choose a pick and mix and think, oh, well, I'll just do one of those activities out of the planning pack, or you could do all of them. And actually, if you did the lesson and then activities around it, then again, you could plan your whole week if you really wanted to, just using those live lessons and those planning packs. Now, one question we get an awful lot is, where do I find the live lessons? Well, there's some easy places to find the live lessons. The first one is the Home Ed blog. So we have a blog which is has our complete back catalogue. We also have individual blogs for each of the topics. But if you want to see what we've done before, then if you go to the Home Ed blog, which has the entire back catalogue, then that you can just click on them. You see the little circles, you just click on them and it takes you straight through. So that's one place to look. The other place is to look on our Twinkl Home Educators Facebook page. So not the group, the page. And if your young person wants to watch live and they want to comment along, then Twinkl Home Educators Facebook page is the best place for you to look. Now, if you want to look at past live videos, you just go to More along the tab and you click on More, and then you go down to where it says Live. And if you click on that, it will show you all the past live videos in chronological order, starting from the most recent and down. So if you look there, you can see that the webinar I did on Monday is featuring there. Then, if you want to look what's coming up, so if you're like, right, okay, well, we really fancy Pathfinders, and it's 5 to 11 on Monday, and I want to put the live lesson on, well, rather than go to live, you just go to events. And if you click on events, then all of the up-and-coming lives will be there. So, Facebook page, if you want past lives, you click on live. If you want up-and-coming lives, you click on events, and you will always find them there. So head over to the Facebook page. That's where you'll all find them. If you don't like the option for your young person to be on Facebook commenting on your profile, then that's absolutely fine. You can also find live lessons over on our YouTube channel. So if you go over to YouTube and type in Twinkl Home Educators, you will find our YouTube channel. And then again, if you look at the tab, you will see where it says live. And if you click live, then that has all of the lives that are scheduled, and also the ones that have also been on. And so if you click on those, then on the live tab, you'll find them. And as I said, if it's 5 to 11 on a Tuesday and you're there for History Explorers, if you just click on that thumbnail and it should go live, then automatically at 11 o'clock. And if it doesn't, if you just click refresh, then it should be there. The thing about YouTube is because, so today you'll be able to comment on YouTube because obviously I'm talking to adults, but when you're talking to young people, you have to close down the comments. So unfortunately, or fortunately, depends on what you think, you can't comment if you are watching one of the live lessons over on YouTube. But lots of people prefer that. So as I said, that's why they're broadcast to 2 platforms. Another option then might be, well, that all of those things you've said so far, Chrissy, just sound a little bit like I need to be incredibly organised and have some sort of, clear routine. And actually we're just a little bit more, we're just a bit more fluid than that. So therefore, I'm going to talk about some other things that you might want to use that are created specifically for home educators. So the first one is our virtual adventures. So we have lots of our virtual adventures. We have one of our most popular, which is the virtual Amazon adventure. But we've had lots of, we've had our virtual Sapmi near to Christmas last year, and excuse me, our virtual ocean adventure. And we've got obviously our virtual Wonders of the World coming up next week. And those are created around a story. So there's a story PowerPoint. There's a field guide that goes with them, which enables you to plan a big project, all with resources all there. So it very much is, here's the story, and then you supplement it with resources from the field guide, should you wish. And then you can make the project as small or as big as you would like. And then there's always a tracker. So there's always something that you need to sort of fill in. So it might be, with the Sapmi, it was a gingerbread house. The virtual botanical adventure, you collect little flowers for like a little greenhouse. But there's always some sort of way of charting your progress, which is something I really like. And my young people really like that, actually, that they can add things. It keeps them quite motivated. And some of our virtual adventures are also done in partnership with Paw Print. And so if your young person likes Paw Print badges, then you can head over to the Paw Print website. And if you type Twinkl into their search, then you'll find the badges they have available for some of our virtual adventures. So it's not all of them, but it's significantly most of them. So virtual adventures, we have so many. And they are really, really, really popular. We often have lives to go with them as well. So there's lives, for example, for the virtual Amazon adventure. So there's sort of video content as well. There's some fantastic videos for the ocean adventure. And so, as I said, again, and then there's always a certificate to complete at the end so that you've finished your virtual adventure. So that's another option, which may be something that would suit people that are just sort of looking for little projects to do. Another thing, particularly, we often get, I have an older learner, I have a learner that, doesn't really know what they want to do. There is our CSI investigations. So again, these are really, really popular, and they are exactly like CSIs. There's lots and lots of evidence, and it's really good to sort of almost do it like you would when you see it on the telly. You can put them all out on the wall and look at. We've got lots and lots of them. So I'll put a couple of examples up here. But we've got, for example, the curse of Tutankhamun's tomb. Was there a curse? Was there not? If there wasn't, where did the idea come from that it was cursed? But there's loads and loads of these lovely CSI investigations. And again, you can do some extra reading, get some books from the library, do lots and lots of various things in order to kind of develop your ideas. So if you were going to go for the Tutankhamun one, was there a curse or was there not? So that's something, so they're really good, and they're really, really good for older learners as well. So CSI investigations is another one. Another one to look at is world explorers. So if you're particularly interested in learning about the world as a sort of starting point, then we have projects based, excuse me, oh my goodness, I don't know what, do you know what, I've got some dust in my throat, so I'm coughing, and I'm trying not to cough, and that's making me yawn. So the world explorers are based on various countries, and they're often, a lot of them are countries that, so this one, for example, is on Bermuda, that are not the sort of most obvious countries. So the World Explorers are a really lovely way, with lots of lovely activities for learning about different places around the world. And then another one we have is our time travel tales. So if you're looking at particular periods of time, and you kind of want a story based kind of project, then the time travel tales are fantastic, and they're really, really practical. So there's different bits of a picture, and you investigate different bits of the picture. There's lots of different activities. It's really, both of these are really hands-on, which is how history and geography should be taught, in my opinion, or learnt, in my opinion. And so these two are, again, some more different project-based ideas, if you're looking for something that is, just, something to do every Tuesday afternoon when you don't have anything on. The other thing that you can use Twinkl for is we have lots of various competitions in order to try and build community. So every year we have a homemade bake-off, which starts in September, and we run that alongside the actual bake-off on the TV. We have a plate up, which is kind of like a cooking competition where you share all of the dishes. We usually have that halfway through the year. And that was called by you guys because lots of people said they ate far too much cake during Bake Off, and could we do a sort of more dinner-based competition. We have our page of nature, which it asks young people to create a page of nature, which is really, really open. And we have lots of other competitions and community building things that we do throughout the year, and we're always open to ideas as well. So if there's something you think, God, my young person would really love to do that, it's a great way of building community, and people share all the things that they do on our Facebook page, and it makes people feel like they're doing something collectively together. So that's another thing that you could possibly look out for. And also we have lots of seasonal fun-based things. So we often have lives on things like Halloween or Christmas, and we often create lots of resources. So for example, at the moment we're talking about Halloween, and the home ed community, our home ed team make resources for those particular seasonal events. So there's lots and lots of those as well to look out for. So if you're just looking for a little sort of pick and mix of odd little things to do, then don't forget, as I said, we've got two incredibly talented writers, Cheryl and Joe, and they write amazing resources for everything from, as I said, Halloween to Christmas and all sorts. So if you're just looking for like little bits to supplement what you're doing, then also check those out because they're great too. Now, lots of you said about that you were Ultimate members and that you weren't really sure about book club, but that's another way that you can use Twinkl, is to have our book club. So you can sign up to book club if you type in book club at the top of your search engine on the Twinkl website. You can see it comes up with a little green tab which says join book club. If you're an Ultimate member, it means that you're automatically you're eligible for book club, but you do have to sign up. That's you do have to sort of say. And you have to choose the age book that you want, and the Twinkl original books get delivered to you every half term, and they're really, really popular in our house. My young people really, really love the stories. And again, talking about age, the ones that are supposed to be for younger readers, both of mine, and I've got a nearly 12-year-old, still love them. And then some of the older ones, the older sort of shortened sort of novels, like the History Hackers, Phyllis and the Fossil Finders, which you can see there. Again, the stories are really, really great. And so they get delivered to you. If you don't want to be part of book club, or you aren't an Ultimate member, a lot of the books are available on the Twinkl Originals app. So we read a lot of ours on the Twinkl Originals app, because although we have lots of the paper copies of the books, we don't have all of them. Again, there are resources that go alongside those Twinkl Originals. So if you were reading, for example, Raider's Peril, then there are lots and lots of activities and resources and discussion cards and things that would go alongside that book. If you were looking at the underwater cleaning spree, which is one for younger learners, again, there's lots and lots of stuff about resources about the ocean and recycling and looking after the ocean and its animals and so forth. So these are, excuse me, these are, again, a really good way of doing some sort of learning linked to a book. And as I said, I think they're all beautifully written, and I think the stories also are incredibly interesting. And we've got two books. So we have Around the World with Max and Lemon, and Max is home educated, and we also have Atticus, which is a bit of a bigger book, a chapter book, and Atticus is also home educated. So the home educated young people are represented as well in the book club. So that's something else to definitely check out. The other thing is we have lots of apps. So some of those apps are only available on Apple. Lots of them are available on Apple and Android. Some of them are part of your subscription. Some of them, like the Little Red Riding Hood coding, which is a firm favourite in our house, you have to, I think, pay a couple of pounds for. And as I said, these are just great ways of, they have spelling apps and AI, sort of augmented reality, AR rather, and you've got your Twinkl Originals on another app, and there's just sort of various maths app and all sorts. So again, if you're looking, if your young person likes gaming, but you want them to kind of learn some spellings or some times tables or something, or some phonic sounds if they're littler, then do go and check out our apps, because again, lots of people don't realise that we do have lots of apps. So if you go to the search engine and type in apps, then it will come up with all of the apps that we have, and there's also a free kind of guide that you can download, and it will tell you all about them. But definitely, if you're not sure that we have them, we definitely have some apps, and they're really, really, really great. The other thing is, some of you might be like, well, you know, we just want something a little bit more relaxed. We're just starting out. We're maybe trying to take things a bit easy. Then I would say definitely go and check out our Lapbooks. So Lapbooks are really lovely. We've got some great videos over on YouTube about how to make a Lapbook, because they're so practical in how you put them all together, and you can take them on car journeys, and you can take them to you know, various, if you're sort of sitting, if we've got sort of various age learners and one of them's doing a club and you're sat outside with another one, then they're really kind of tactile and various things that you can do with those Lapbooks. So definitely go and check out Lapbooks if you want something a little bit more relaxed, or our 100 Home Ed Adventures, which has, exactly as it says on the tin, 100 Home Ed Adventures that you can tick off as you go. Alternatively, you can buy scratch off material that you can put over the top, and then you can scratch off as you do each of those adventures. But 100 Home Ed Adventures, again, is something that is a really, really good one. So I'm trying to think some of them, but, you know, like Roll Down a Hill or something like that. And again, that's just a really lovely way of just sort of, if you're looking for something a little bit more relaxing, if you're just starting out, then definitely go and look at Lapbooks and 100 Home Ed Adventures. And so that is it, really, because I very much believe that I could talk to you probably for many, many hours about how to use Twinkl. If people feel like they would like some more support on other areas of Twinkl, then please do share that with me, because I'm really happy to put on some other webinars showing you specifics of, you know, the website and specifics of, you know, of how various things work. But do let me know if there's any questions. The chat is incredibly quiet, which makes me wonder if there's an issue with the chat. Hopefully all the people I can see watching me have been watching me, and I'm not just talking to myself. But if there are any questions, do let me know in the chat, or just let me know that you're still there, and that, you know, it is definitely working. And I'll do my best to answer those questions. Obviously, back to the, you know, what package we have: ultimate and extra and core. So if you are not yet subscribed to Twinkl and you're thinking about what package you would want, obviously ultimate, I like ultimate because then I know I've got everything, but obviously it is more money than extra and core. But if you go over to the website, it gives you a really handy table and it shares with you excuse me, what is in each of the packages. And also you get your 30 days of trial. So as I said, do, if you haven't already and you're just lurking about and you're new to Twinkl, then do go and take yourself out a free trial for 30 days to see all of the various things that we have. And as I said, there's lots of people that find that it's a real lifeline, helping them home educate and working out how to get started, working out what to do. And as I said, even if you're getting up and thinking, I've got no idea what to do today, you've always got the Home Learning Hub, which is amazing. So that's it from me. On Friday, I'm going to be doing Relax and Rejuvenate live. So hopefully lots of you will see me on Friday. It will be exactly the same time at 8 o'clock. It's available to everybody. So as I said, if you've got a young person as well that wants to come for some relaxation, we're going to be doing a guided relaxation and some simple breath work and stretches. So bring a comfy pillow and some blankets and an opportunity to chill out from not back to school week and just have some you time. So that's it from me. Oh, how bizarre. All my comments have suddenly come through. That's very odd. Are there any specific materials? Right, so I'm gonna go through some of these. They've all of a sudden come through. I don't know what's going on. Scratch off stickers have been my favourite purchase. I love Lapbooks, but my little ones just aren't. I love Lapbooks. Are there specific materials aimed at Key Stage 3? Absolutely. So if you go to the planning map for Key Stage 3, it will have all of the subjects for all of the terms linked to all materials linked to Key Stage 3. And I would say with the live lessons, we have history, the Tuesday one, Time Explorers, and the Wednesday one as well. Those planning packs have got Key Stage 3 and Key Stage 4 activities based on them. And as I said, in a previous life, I was a secondary school history and geography teacher all the way up to A level. And so I write those packs and work on ensuring that they have things in them for older learners. So that would be definitely. I get completely lost on Beyond. Well, again, I'm happy to do a session on Beyond, which we've done before. So another one about, I'm not sure how to start with Key Stage 3. Definitely look at the Key Stage 3 curriculum map. It is working. I'm just writing lots of notes. Good. So everyone's very, oh yeah, do you know what? They just all came through. How do we sign up for the newsletter? So if you go to webinar 1, which I did on Monday, I talk about how to do the newsletter, but it's in the settings. Lots of people loving, blankets and pillows Friday. How do I find out about the other clubs? So the clubs you can find on the Home Learning Hub. So if you go to the Home Learning Hub, you either type it into the top or there's a little tab along the top as well. You will find that Lizzie will post each day. So I can't remember what Wednesday is. There'll be information on that particular club. And then if you're in our Facebook group, then there'll be a sharing post that means that you can share it. So for example, if it's block builders, then you know, that activity will be put up, and then, as I said, you do that activity, and then you can or cannot, you don't have to share it over on our Facebook, in our Facebook group. And Sam's just put a home learning hub link in our chat. So thankfully, all of them, I realise you were all there. Very bizarre. They all just shot in at once. Those comments. So thank you very, very much. So I really hope that was useful. As I said, if you ever want to DM me, I'm Chrissy Twinkl over on the Facebook group with anything specific. So if you're saying, I really want a webinar on Beyond, which seems to have been coming through from some of the comments, or if some of you are saying, wow, there's so many other things on Twinkl, I really want you to go through those products, then I'm absolutely happy to, because as I said, there's huge. I mean, it's huge. I mean, there's Twinkl Craft, Twinkl Pets, Twinkl Puzzles. I mean, I could literally talk for a week on everything that we have, but I've really specifically kept it today to not overwhelm you, to say this is what you can do, so that you basically feel like you can leave this webinar and go, right, this is what I'm going to try. And as I said, try the Planit. That doesn't work, try the CSIs. If they don't work, try some of the live lessons. Don't feel like you have to stick to one thing or another. How do I differentiate between the Facebook page and the group? They definitely have different little circles. Sam in the chat, do you know? So basically the group, when you type in Twinkl Home Educators, if you click onto the group, you'll see lots and lots of people are lots of people are posting, like members of the public. Whereas obviously on the page, it just looks very different. It's just sort of advertising new resources and things that we've got in place. But definitely, if you're not in the group, get yourself over to the group, because it's one of the friendliest and most supportive groups I think I'm on Facebook. And I don't just say that because I work for Twinkl. You can literally put anything on there, from I really want a new printer to I've got a really reluctant 7-year-old writer to how on earth do I teach my 13-year-old times tables, and every question in between. And I think my question should be, can we have some more Twinkl colouring? Because my children are upstairs right now being bribed by Twinkl colouring. And I think we've done pretty much every Twinkl colouring there is on the planet. They are currently colouring in a mindfulness sheep wearing a woolly jumper. So that's what they've been doing while I've been doing this. But Sam, we're running out of Twinkl colouring. So maybe we should put a request in. But yes, thank you so much. I really do appreciate your time on a Wednesday at 8 o'clock. I hope to see some of you on Friday at 8 o'clock for some relaxation. Yeah, definitely some bread. Oh, see, I found some bread-based colouring once, colouring a croissant, yeah, it didn't do it for mine. They like mindfulness ones. So I can never find the live things. The live links are never on the group. So that's probably where you're going wrong, Mandy. The live links, I shall flip back on my PowerPoint ever so quick. The live links are in the group. So this is are on the page, not the group. So this is what you're looking for. Twinkl Home Educators page. And you're looking for more, and if you're looking for past lives, you click live. If you're looking for up and coming lives, you're looking for events. So that's why you can't find it, Mandy, because you're on the group. You must go to the page. And if all else fails, head over to YouTube and just click on the live. So have a lovely evening. And I'm going to go and see how my children are doing, colouring in a woolly sheep with a jumper on, and I will see you on Friday at 8 o'clock. I'll see you soon.